So I had started, like I said, I came from the theater, but then I started doing some films. I think that might have been my second film. And of course, everybody knew who Tupac was. Um, but Tupac was when I went, I didn't know what to expect when I got on the set because all you get is what's in the news. You know what I'm saying? All you get is, and he was kind of getting, they wanted to make him out to be like a real bad boy, kind of thing. And yet, he also kind of played into that a little bit with his music and how he was. So I didn't know what I was going to, when I got on the set, who I was going to be dealing with. Um, but I'm going to tell you what happened. We had a shoot. We got time for this, right?
Yeah, we got time. Go ahead.
Good, good. You got it, whatever you need to edit. But so we had a shoot. I only had, there was going to be 3 days on the shoot. And they kept pushing it like, oh, we're going to do it next week. We're going to do it next week. And then I'm like, all right, no problem. Then they said it's only going to be 2 days. And I said, no problem. In the meantime, it was coming right up to Thanksgiving. So they wanted to finish shooting by that Wednesday. Originally, it was going to be that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then they said it's just going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, because then there's the Thanksgiving break. Well, Tupac was in the news. He had gotten into some kind of there was some trouble or something down in Atlanta, and that was in the news. There was something that happened with him down in Atlanta, some kind of dust up with people down there. So boom, it's in the news. Now in New York City, everybody knew he was shooting this film. And then there was some other incident that happened right after that. Something happened at a concert or something. So I'm reading the paper, and then they're telling me we're going to do 3 days, and now they're going to do 2 days. And you can put two and two together that something else is going on. Anyways, ends up doing 1 day. So they had to jam the scenes into 1 day, which were only a couple of scenes. They got rid of one scene, so it was only a couple of scenes. And it was really tight when we got on the set. When I got on the set, it wasn't a huge movie budget-wise. But when we got on the set, it was down in the village, West Village. We were shooting in this little place that's supposed to be a nightclub, and outside there's a whole bunch of fans, a lot of women outside, like across the street, kind of thing. And but inside there's a small place. They're pumping the smoke and the music, and unfortunately, at that point, I guess because of the troubles prior to the Bond guy, the movie Bond guy, was on the set. Now, you know what a Bond guy is on the set?
Is it like a Bale's bondsman? Something
Well,
like that?
similarly speaking, what happens is when you do a movie, it's got to be insured. So you get the money, you get your stars, you get your money, you get everything's together, and you're going to start. But you got to have your movie bonded in order to make sure that you complete the film. So a bond company comes in and goes, we'll guarantee that the film is complete for this amount of money and what have you. And almost always, the movie is completed at that time with that money. But if they think that there's trouble, the Bond guy shows up and he's like, that's it. You did 2 takes. It's enough. If the director goes, I want to do another take. Bond guy went over, and then all of a sudden he goes, okay, we're going to move on because, time is money. So it got to that point. Like they needed to make sure this film got finished just because of these things that were happening outside, So again, I don't know what to expect when I'm going to meet him. I only know what's in the news, But I have an open mind about all of that. I don't believe half of that shit anyway. But I go in there. We're in this dark little club, smoke. Everybody's crowded in. It's supposed to look like a big nightclub. I play Richie, I think, and I'm like, I asked him, I asked the kid. I think it was Dwayne Martin was the actor. It was really good. And he's, well, what kind of shoes you wear, what size you wear, because I got shoes to give him, not in that moment. But anyways, and then I meet Tupac. He's the nicest guy, well-spoken. He had these eyes that were so deep. And I'm looking at him and he says, hey, man, nice to meet you. That big smile. And I'm like, this ain't nothing like what's been in the news. It ain't nothing like that. Not that I had a preconceived notion. I'm just kind of going off of they're moving the dates. They're doing this. The Bond guy's here. There must be trouble. Um, couldn't have been nicer, man. Well spoken, knew his stuff. Boom. Every time we did a take, same with the, I think it's Dwayne Martin was his name. Same way, you know. I mean, really, professional and everything. But when the take was done, you know, he disappeared and he'd run outside, because I guess there's women outside. But you know who was there that day? Flavor Flav was there. So he was visiting. So he was outside. So when I say on this, it wasn't an undisciplined. It's just that when you finish a take, they got to move the camera. Takes 10 minutes, could take longer. Boom, he's gone. He's outside seeing Flavor Flav and whoever else is down there. He come back in, hit his mark, go straight on and do his stuff. So my experience with him was like solid, professional, really great guy, terrific energy. I understood completely all the charisma that young man had. I say young man. I was younger then, so I was the young man, but he was younger than me, you know. And then I'll tell you something else that I haven't told anybody. Because of all the tension in that room and all the smoke and the stuff and everything like that, I started going up. Going up means you're forgetting your lines, And the last thing you want to do if you're on this thing for a day is to go up on your lines, I had them down, we did them, we rehearsed them, we shot it a few times, but then there was just like a lot of tension in the room and stuff, and then I started going up on my lines, and which does not happen to me. I'm kind of known for not ever going up on my lines, but it didn't matter. The guy Dwayne Martin went with it. Tupac went with it. It's like, looking right at him. This is good. We're good. Don't worry. We're good. We're good. I got it. I got it back and got through it. It was the last place you want to be as an actor in front of a camera when you're forgetting your lines. I mean, because forgetting your lines is your lines. Everybody goes, how do you remember all those lines? That's only part of acting. That's like, that's a tool in order to do your acting, So, and they just, whatever, they got to me for a little bit.